This is Glasgow Rangers Nation. Welcome, guys. I'm Evan James, and this is all your latest Rangers news on Monday, the 30th of September. A day on from that turgid watch, the 3 points up the road performance. A win is a win kind of performance against Hibs. A 1-0 victory that was far from convincing. A 1-0 victory that was, I think, disappointing is the word that would be key in a lot of Rangers fans' minds, and maybe even some of the players' minds as well coming out of that game. I mean, if you go back to Thursday night, we all watched that game and then came out of that game with huge optimism about the future, about what we were about to see probably on Sunday. That we hope that some of that we'd seen on Thursday, the caliber of the performance, the caliber of the display, the style that we played with, would be sort of transferred across to today's game. Now, look, don't get me wrong, there were some positives from today's game, and look, it's easy that I'm going to be easy to sit here and obviously talk over the negatives and talk over what didn't go well, as other pods have done yesterday. I mean, overall positives. Proper and Suter looked like a defensive pairing in the middle, kept yet another clean sheet. Jack Butland saved a penalty and was relatively solid throughout the game as well, kept a clean sheet. Connor Barron was his typical effervescent self and really did play, with some style. Tom Lawrence scored a cracking goal, and that's obviously that's probably why he's in the team, for those odd moments of magic. They're sort of the essential positives from today's game. Hamza Rigman got time to start, didn't play particularly well, but still got starting minutes. Hyefte played very well as well. I was very impressed with Hyefte. Now, considering this is the young lad that is maturing game by game and getting better game by game, and his defensive skills are really developing. He's a no-nonsense defender. He's also very good at going forward. His set-piece delivery, his delivery is very good. It all bodes well for the future, as realistically, he's only going to get better as time marches on. So there were positives from what was a very hard watch, a turgid watch. Doing the live stream yesterday, it was really hard at times, to kind of talk about the game in a positive fashion, due to the fact that Rangers were very, very poor. Complete polar opposite of what we saw Thursday night. Now, I know there's a difference there between Europa League football and SPL football. You go to play in the Europa League and you play a team that's more willing to play football against you, more willing to have an open game of football against you, more willing to have a go and actually play the game. And we saw that, didn't we, from Malmo against us on Thursday night. And we'll probably see the same again on Thursday against Lyon. I mean, let's face it, you'll probably go into Lyon and play very well, and we'll all be going, wow, what a team, what a performance again, because Lyon don't want to play football. We've heard from the Nemanja Matic this week that apparently we're going to play the Europa League winners on Thursday. Yeah, that's what Matic actually came out and said, ex-Man United, ex-Chelsea player. But look, it was a real Jekyll and Hyde from Rangers yet again. Whilst there was the beauty of Thursday night, there was the ugliness and the sheer horror of today, where it was just absolutely piss poor. From I think there was some pretty bad performances. Before we talk about that, I do want to give Hibs some credit. I do think that the Hibs manager did an excellent job. He set his team up perfectly. He made it very hard for Rangers to play against them. He set them up in 2 banks of 4 and a 1-1 to kind of make it really hard to play through when they were defending. They didn't even try and press when we had the ball in their own half. They were quite content to let us pass it centre back to centre back to centre back to winger. Well, it was a bit like Butland rolls it out, Suter passes it to Proper passes it to Hyefte passes it back to Proper, who passes it to Suter, who presses it to Tav, who presses it back to Suter, and so on. And then, as long as we were doing that, Hibs were quite happy that we had the ball. It was only when we obviously entered their half that any press then came on. Although, they did have some opportunities in the first half. I mean, the save from the Japanese lad by Butland was excellent. Obviously backed up by that fantastic penalty save as well. I mean, great work from Jack Butland to save that penalty. As I said on the commentary yesterday, where's the haters now? What a horrible word, haters, turning into some sort of teenager. We talk about toxicity and toxicness and being toxic fan base. I really hate that when fans say that. You're so toxic. Oh my God, you sound like one of my teenage daughters. Grow up. So look, I mean, overall, you've got to say, it wasn't a great performance. And second half, I thought Hibs were the better team. I mean, like I said, a great credit to their manager. Their manager's got them well organised. He's got them with a style of play, a pattern of play, a fluidity to the play. A bit like we're seeing from Aberdeen as well. From I think it's Jimmy Thielen, the guy's name is. He's got them playing some good football. He's got a pattern of play, a style, a group, and a tactics, a formation. And it's working. And it's rather concerning that Clement still hasn't really got that yet. That, that whilst managers like Jimmy Thielen can come in and do that at Aberdeen, and that obviously the manager at Hibs, whose name escapes me now, can come in and do the same, and yet Clement can't do it. I mean, I'm not obviously likening Clement to down south, because obviously, Chelsea's, the Marescas, etc., etc. They've got multi-million-pound budgets and squads that are ridiculous in size. But looking in Scotland, in the same environment, these managers have got a style, they've got a shape, they've got a formation, and an effective one in the case of Aberdeen. So I think that Clement still has a way to go, and I think people, when he talks about his October-November deadline for seeing the best of Rangers, it's a bit ridiculous when you see what's been produced at Aberdeen, what's been produced obviously at Hibs, what's been produced at other clubs as well that just got new managers in. So it is a slight worry. Now, I think there's a few talking points from today's game. I mean the facts and figures of today's game, obviously 1-0 win to Rangers. A win is a win. It's 3 points up the road. That's the positive. We cut the lead that Aberdeen and Celtic have down to 5 points again, which is certainly worrying that we're third and 5 points behind second. Shots wise, again, a fairly even game. That we had 4 on target, they had 3 on target. Possession, we did dominate possession, even though they had, I think, slightly more of the ball in the second half. Outpassed them, certainly. Pass accuracy was better from us, although it was down on what you'd expect from Rangers. But overall, it was not a great performance at all. I mean, we scored that absolute wonder goal from Tom Lawrence. I mean, you've got to praise Tom for that finish. It was absolutely brilliant. It was a one moment of magic that actually wins the game. And it's a little bit of what Rangers have done in the league over the last few weeks, months, year or so, is that we're relying on players' individual moments of brilliance to win games. Not relying on great team play, not relying on great teamwork. It's down to individual players pulling off moments of brilliance, like this goal from Tom Lawrence today. And of course, the penalty save from Jack Butland as well. And that's the worry, that's the concern, that we're not obviously seeing a consistent team performance, a consistent performance from all. Now, there was a few things in today's game that really did worry me and did kind of leave me sitting there kind of going, what's the meaning of this? I mean, first of all, I've got to say the substitutions that Clement made at half-time to me made very, very little sense whatsoever. I thought he took the wrong players off. I thought he brought one of the right players on. So, let me talk about this for a minute. So, I'll be honest with you. I think taking Ross McCausland off was a mistake. I thought Ross was actually quite direct, did okay in the first half. Nobody was great in the first half. Nobody played well in the first half. And nobody really stood out in the first half. So I think taking Ross off was slightly unfair. I mean, personally, my decision I would have taken Tierney off. I thought Tierney was absolutely appalling first half, and I want to talk a little bit about Václav Tierney in this video. Raskin, again, yes, I can see why we took Raskin off. I think having Raskin and Barron in the same team doesn't work. They're too similar. They both want to take up similar positions. They both want to play similar passes. They both want to play a similar style of football. I don't think you can have Raskin and Barron in the same team. I think you can have Diomande and Raskin, or you can have Diomande and Barron. But without Diomande today, who of course was injured, it really does show that there is a real lack of midfield talent there, a real lack of midfield options there. And I think it does show that the recruitment was particularly poor in the summer. I've got to say, I don't understand what Kieran Dowell actually brings to the team. And if someone can tell me in the comments what Kieran Dowell actually contributes, I'd love to know. I genuinely cannot see what Dowell contributes to this team. I just genuinely don't get it. He doesn't contribute anything for me. He really doesn't. He's a squad player, yeah, but he's a squad player that actually literally contributes absolutely zero to the team. His passing isn't particularly great. His shooting isn't particularly great. His crossing isn't particularly great. He's not particularly fast. He's not particularly skillful. He's an average League One player in England. I mean, that's all he really is. And I don't understand why Clement keeps bringing him on. I mean, I would have preferred to have seen McKinnon come on, maybe Sterling come on, maybe instead of him. Or, maybe even drop Lawrence back to play alongside Barron and put Bayrami on in the 10 role. There are other options there, certainly other options there, or even change the formation and go 2 up top. Bayrami was the right substitution. Bringing him on at that point was the right change, but for the wrong player. Like I said, I would have taken Václav Tierney off. I think Journey today was shocking. I thought he was absolutely appalling. He is, for me, a one-trick pony. He's a complete one-trick pony. He has one move and one move only, which is to cut into on his left foot and try and scoop the ball in or shoot. And I think teams have figured that out. I mean, it doesn't take the greatest coach in the world to sit down, watch a Rangers video and go, right, Václav Černý, he's going to cut inside on his left foot. You can, if we show him outside, he's not going to go outside. He's not even going to try and go outside. He doesn't want to use his right foot. It's just for standing on. He's going to cut in. So I don't get that. I mean, if Černý is so determined to play with his left foot, why not put him on the left wing? You know, where he's got to use his left foot, where he can go outside, where he can be, you know, quality on the left side and try and cross it, see if he can be more effective there, because he certainly isn't effective as a right winger in this team. He is a one-trick pony. He was absolutely appalling today. And there was a moment where he should have run forward into space, but instead he turns and he passes the ball backwards, and he gets, it's either criticism from I mean, he gets criticism from the crowd, don't get me wrong, and he gets a slaughter from the manager as well. And at that point, he reacts to that, throws his arms up in the air. Now, whether that's at the manager or at the crowd, if it's at the crowd, I'm sorry, Mr. Černý, you're going to cop it big time from the Rangers fans, the same way that Fabio Silva did last season. Černý, for me, was just appalling today, absolutely appalling. And that's why I would have kept Ross McCausland on the right, put Bayrami to the left. I just think that would have given us better options, more direct. And plus, Ross McCausland's not a left winger. He's a right winger. We know that. So I did think that substitution didn't make a lot of sense. I thought James Tavernier today, so yesterday, was appalling again. His set-piece delivery was just awful. Overhit corners, corners straight to the goalkeeper, corners to nobody in particular, passes that missed their mark. And if you look a lot of the time as well, John Souttar was continually dragged out of position all the time to play right back. There was a number of times that I noticed first half and second half where Tab is nowhere to be seen, and it's Souttar getting pulled out of position to cover the right back, therefore leaving proper one-on-one, or one-on-two in the middle. You know, there's times as well, I think there was an attack in the second half where you look and Tom Lawrence and Conor Barron are absolutely busting a gut to get back. They actually overtake James Tavernier in the race to get back and defend. And that, for me, shows a real lack of desire and heart from the captain. And this is a guy who should be our captain. You know, as I've said on a number of occasions, you know, how bad does he have to be to get dropped? How bad does he have to play to get dropped? I thought he was just absolutely shocking yet again today. I've yet to watch a game this season where I think he's been okay. He's been appalling all season, and yet he gets chosen. I mean, what message does that send to Casemiro? Does that send to Dujon Sterling? I'm sorry, you're naturally both right backs, pair of you. You're both very good right backs, but this man's going to start because, and the reason that seems to be given by a lot of our fans, which I think they don't understand football, is because he's the captain. That's not a reason to pick somebody just because he's the captain. You know, other managers, brave managers, have done that and dropped their captains in the past. Sir Alex Ferguson being one that springs to mind off the top of my head straight away. So, look, James Tavernier should be dropped. I mean, he has to be dropped. The guy is just not even second rate anymore. He's third rate and going backwards at speed. And he is the weak link. Go back. And if you want to challenge me on that, look, I'll sit with you and I'll watch the second half with you, and I'll watch the game, and I will show you how he's the weak link. And I will show you how Hibs repeatedly target the right side of our defence, how he's repeatedly missing, and how it's John Souttar who is repeatedly having to come across and play right back. There was even an instance in the first half where Raskan is right back and Tavernier is nowhere to be found on the pitch. I think he's up the field somewhere. But this is the problem. And the team is suffering because of his inability to do his job, which is to play right back. And I get the whole, he's good at assists, he's good at goal scoring, yada, yada, yada. But he's not in the team to do that. He's in the team to play right back. He's in the team to defend. He's in the team to be a captain. Do the fucking job, mate. Do the job. And the problem I think we've got at this moment in time is, and this was a point made, I think, by a number of managers, and maybe I think Jose Mourinho has made this point as well. You have one bad apple in your fruit bowl, it will turn your fruit bowl rotten. And James Tavernier is that one bad apple in the Rangers fruit bowl. And we need to obviously see him not play again this season, in my opinion. And like I said, that'll make me unpopular. People will come on here and say, don't like that opinion. TAV fanboys will be polishing their photographs tonight after they've, done whatever they do over the photographs. But look, at the end of the day, we've got to remember this is Rangers FC. And people say, oh, no, get behind him, get behind him. Yeah, okay, get behind him. Will that make him run faster? Will that make him tackle better? Of course it bloody won't. His legs have gone. He can't do the job that he used to do. Now, look, today's performance was not good enough. It was not. It was just poor, yet again, poor. And I can't help but feel, had we been playing Celtic today and even possibly Aberdeen today, we'd have lost that game. We genuinely think would have lost that game today. And that's worrying. Going forward, we need to see a more consistent levels of performance. We need to see, a consistency of display from week to week. Now, people are going to say, well, they're tired after playing in Europe. Well, we're going to have to get used to that. We've got 8 games where we're going to be Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. So, it's going to be the same this week, again, going into the St Johnstone game. And we saw what Celtic did to St Johnstone. So, at the end of the day, this is something they're going to have to get used to. And tired legs is not an excuse, especially as Clement rotated. I think it was 4 players yesterday. So, look, for me today, a poor performance that needs to be stepped up, a poor performance that needs to be picked up. And a number of players, I think, need to be changed. The positional changes going into the game on Thursday and going into the game, obviously, next Sunday. Guys, let me know your thoughts, your comments on Rangers today, on Rangers across the week, and obviously on what I've had to say in the video. Thank you for watching. Please obviously smash that sub, ring the notification bell, and you'll never miss out on the great free content. And obviously, please smash that like. Thanks for watching. Remember always, we are the people.